Welcome to another episode of OG55. Today we just got out of the Honda Center, the Experiences Panel, Webba, and him and I are going to do an out of the Honda Center reaction. Overall thoughts on this Experiences Panel. We have a lot of thoughts on this. Up next here, OG Webba on OG55.
Keys big. I just let that money talk. Take it to the head. I just let that money talk. Got a lot of zeros making commas on the check. I just let that money talk. Talk. I just let that money talk.
Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55. I got Mr. Webba with me today. We just got out of the Experiences Panel for the D23 2026 Ultimate Fan event. We have a lot to talk about, fandom. We have a lot to talk about. Webba. Webba.
OG.
Webba. What is... okay, look. I out the gate, I think if you're a Floridian, I think you're happy tonight.
Yeah.
By and large.
Right.
California, not at all. And really, not even just California. But we'll get into the details, okay? The issue that I have with this panel, I feel like there's a lot of games being played here, right? We'll address the elephant in the room first. we have this Pandora model out there on the convention floor.
Yep.
Which even the Avatar haters and doubters were impressed by this model, right?
Oh, cool.
They put the model out there. Everyone's like, wow, this is actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
We sit through this, 2.5 hour Experiences Panel, singing and dancing, right?
Singing and dancing,
cornball jokes, and not one mention of Pandora.
No. I'll tell you this. This panel was an experience. I'll tell you that. It was an experience.
Very
okay, so with Pandora, I am kind of in awe in terms of I'm in disbelief that they wouldn't have brought that up on the panel. Because look, for me, the D23 panel for parks experiences is where you make your big stuff. Yes, online and whatever Disney has been saying, lower expectations. I get that. We knew going in that we would get a lot of stuff that was already mentioned before at the last D23, right?
Right.
However, I want detailed information, and they did not provide that. It was just telling us stuff without telling us anything.
Well, it was a lot of attraction names and logos.
Yes,
is what it was. A lot of logos. I mean, tonight, if you're a logo fan, tonight was your night.
But by the way, a Villain's Land is called
Villain's Land. that was fantastic.
That was great.
That was absolutely fantastic. So Scott Gustin, and big shouts to Scott Gustin. We love Scott. He made a tweet saying that actually Disney is prioritizing Disneyland's new Tomorrowland, which we got in this expo, right?
Yes.
This experience panel. They're prioritizing the new Tomorrowland over Pandora.
And that's this whole thing is I'm in the disbelief of, because I'm like, okay, why do you have the Pandora model on the showroom floor, but then at the parks panel experiences, you don't mention it at all? And then I say, okay, new Tomorrowland coming. That's fantastic. We've all been wanting that. It really needs it. But you don't mention Avatar, not at all, when you have the model here?
You have the model. You would think that would be a precursor to hint that at the Experiences Panel, we're going to hear more detail on this project we have a model for.
Exactly.
But then you introduce a whole new thing. Now we have a new Tomorrowland.
Well, and then
we haven't even finished the other thing yet, and we don't even have any information on Coco, and barely anything on the Avengers stuff.
And we also don't have any other information on the Eastern Gateway stuff, because if Avatar is going to finish later, but Monsters Inc. is supposed to close next year, but we're supposed to get a new Tomorrowland first before Pandora, I'm lost at how this is supposed to work.
Yeah. No, I really don't understand it, everybody. I really don't. This feels very much like Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm does this. Lucasfilm and this is a real potential pitfall for experiences, because when Lucasfilm announces stuff now, no one believes it.
Yeah.
No one believes it. Why? Because every time Lucasfilms announce a show or a movie or a trilogy or whatever it is, 6 months, a year, 2 years after that announcement, you hear, oh, creative differences, or this project has been canceled, or this project has been pushed back, or this other project has been prioritized over the other one. This experience stuff is starting to feel like Lucasfilm. If you don't want to do a Pandora, then you shouldn't have announced it. Full stop. You announced Pandora, then you trot out the model on the convention floor, and now we're hearing through reputable sources like Scott Gustin that, oh, you know what? Just kidding. We're not prioritizing Avatar anymore. Now we're going to introduce this whole new project, New Tomorrowland. What? Okay, and then Coco. We don't even get any information on Coco.
And me and OG did a video with Candid Camper, shout out, and we were talking about Coco because the studios panel talked about Coco 2. And it was either, okay, are they going to do a Coco ride based off Coco 2 or Coco 1? Because Coco, the first concept art had, Miguel when he was a kid.
Right.
So I think this attraction is supposed to take place a year after the first one in his memory.
Okay.
So this is like an in-between story of like 1 and 2, basically. But I was telling OG and Canon Kemper, I was like, I'm kind of worried because this, with no information leading up to the parks panel, this could be either very bad or very good, depending on what it is.
Right. And
we still got really nothing. We got like 2 more concept art. They said it's a boat ride, no height restrictions, which is great.
Yeah, that's cool.
But there was nothing about like audio animatronics, not even showing new technology.
I mean,
not showing like the ride path, like really nothing.
Nothing. The pieces of art that we got, well, one from like the little courtyard when you first walk in.
Yes.
And then one from inside the boat of Miguel standing there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was really nothing. I mean, and this is the thing, and maybe I was talking to you about this in the car, but like maybe.
But I don't understand why though. There's dirt being moved on the on the west side of DCA for that attraction. Like, it's all boarded off.
Right. It's being built. Like, they clearly know what that ride is going to be.
Right.
And you don't give us any information on that. Zero information.
It makes no sense.
It makes zero sense. But we're going to introduce a new Tomorrowland now. Okay, but you're not even giving us information on the projects that are in full-blown construction mode.
No, that does.
The Tomorrowland news, I'm telling you, I'm very suspect of that.
Ooh.
Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's even gonna
be a thing.
I kind of feel like it's almost like the shiny object, like, because they know the fans want a new Tomorrowland,
and they know fans don't want Pandora.
Well, yeah, they know there's complaints about Pandora for sure, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's shenanigans going on with Pandora. And I feel like the Tomorrowland thing at the end was like, here's a shiny object fandom. You can just, distraction. A total distraction. There's something weird going on with this whole thing.
Well, and then this also pushes Pandora way out further than what I thought it was going to be.
Way out.
So we did a walk and talk just like the other day, and I put it out there. I said I believe Pandora's going to come out first before Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
But again, that was the day before this panel.
Right.
Now I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. Magic Kingdom is now we have more information about Magic Kingdom's Villains Land.
Right.
Compared to now Pandora.
Right. Now that's true. Yeah.
And I think that's going to come out first now, especially if we're going to get if we do get a new Tomorrowland ahead of Pandora, because look, the Avengers stuff isn't coming out until 2028. This stuff was announced in 2019.
2019, and I get it. We had the pandemic in there, but still,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. I mean, it was 2019. We're pushing almost a decade.
Yes, and then we have Coco. So if Pandora is not coming out until after Avengers, Coco, and New Tomorrowland, how long is New Tomorrowland going to take?
How long is New Tomorrowland going to take? And is Pandora ever going to happen? And look, I have no problem being wrong, but I need evidence to point me in a certain direction, right? When there was all these rumors that Avatar was going to be replaced by Zootopia,
yeah,
I never jumped on that train.
No, me neither.
Yeah, we never did. Because you know why? There was no evidence for it. Just because a former Imagineer says it doesn't mean it's happening. And we were right. It wasn't being replaced by Zootopia, right? But this move by Disney, leaving it out of the panel, and now Augustin saying, it's not a priority.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland is. That does put this Pandora project, I think, in jeopardy. Not necessarily to be replaced by Zootopia.
Yeah.
But like, is this going to go into basically creative limbo
right.
where it sits on a shelf and we never really see it?
Here's the thing. I think that if we would have never had the model at the convention center, and if the Imagineer at the panel tonight didn't say that we were getting Pandora in the future,
right.
which she said that during Coco's segment.
Yeah, during Coco's segment, you brought that to my attention. We rewatched it actually on Disney Plus.
Yes.
I forgot the gal's name. She had blue hair, right?
It's blue hair, yeah.
The blue hair lady. I do apologize. I don't remember your name. but she said that we have great new projects coming, and she mentioned Coco and Avengers and Avatar coming in the future. See the little word games they play? Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this whole thing just kind of blows my mind with all this, because now it's just kind of rearranged the whole thing I'm thinking about with the Eastern Gateway, with Monsters Inc. that's supposed to close down next year. So then like how is this going to work?
Well, if they're prioritizing, and that's the other thing, is Monsters Inc. going to close? Because if they're prioritizing
that's true.
Tomorrowland, there's no need to close down Monsters Inc. right now. That's
true. That's true. Well, then if that's the case, then what's the point of doing the Eastern Gateway?
Right. I mean, I guess they have to eventually do it. But
yeah, that's
still,
true.
Like, but why we? Yeah, I mean that. But even that though, we didn't get any new information on the Eastern Gateway.
Nothing.
Not a single thing. I mean, you would think we haven't had new artwork really for like the parking structure part of that in a long time. Nothing at this expo about that. Nothing at this expo about Abu Dhabi.
No, yeah, that's nothing. Abu Dhabi was not mentioned. They mentioned Shanghai, Paris, Hong Kong, right? And but even then, it was very little. Hong Kong and Shanghai was only the Marvel stuff.
Right.
Paris was Lion King, which actually looked dope.
That was dope.
That looked cool.
Well, honestly, Lion King and Florida's Indiana Jones was both of those stole the show.
I agree. Those were really cool. And they also provided the most detail in it. And with Lion King, you actually get a villain like face off at the end.
Scar and the Long Live the King with the drop is gonna be sick.
Which Ding Ding Tiana should have had that, with Dr. Facilier,
should have had it.
So I think those were the two highlights for me in this panel.
Me too. No, I think Florida came out looking pretty good here. I do. I think Florida came out looking pretty good.
Yeah.
It was clear that this particular Experiences panel was the Walt Disney World show.
But then even then with those two things, everything else was still kind of fluff. I mean, okay, cool. You're getting your Yeti fix after how many years? That's awesome. But that could have been in a blog post. The World of Color original thing, the original World of Color, which we've been wanting, could have been in blog post.
Yeah.
The bringing back the forever, the fireworks?
Remember Dreams Come True.
Remember Dreams Come True. That could have been a blog post.
Blog post. But I knew Webba when this parks panel started.
Yeah.
And they started trotting out the oldies. Oh, you're getting the 20-year-old fireworks show. Yeah. And we're bringing back the old World of Color, and magic happens. It's coming back. I'm like, okay. I was starting to get a little nervous because it's like they're bringing back a lot of old stuff. Mm-hmm. These are not really. I mean, remember Dreams Come True was for the 50th anniversary,
which I will say on here, that is my favorite fireworks show because I'm a rides guy and Disneyland Park huge fan and rides. I love that because of that aspect.
Oh no, it's a fantastic fireworks show. But when you're on this expo stage,
right,
and we're expecting at least some pretty good announcements here, some meaty stuff, and you're giving me a fireworks show from 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, and you're bringing back the old World of Color. It's like I got a little nervous here, like, well, what's going on here? No mention of the Phantasmic Dragon.
Yeah, that should have been a thing.
That should have been a thing. Thomas Maslam got on the stage, and at the very end, like, oh, we gotta really pay homage to Disneyland. That was the original park in 75 years, and yada yada yada. And it's like, okay, we'll honor Disneyland by fixing our dragon. And it's weird. It's like this stuff is like, I just feel like we're kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like there's okay, we have all these projects, right? We have Coco, we have the Avengers, we have, Pandora. And it's like none of these projects really got any news. But now we're going to throw new stuff into the mix like a new Tomorrowland. Well, bro, you haven't even addressed this other stuff yet. And now we're adding another thing in here?
Well, and to your point about when you got nervous about when they were talking about the old stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling that we weren't getting any Avatar Pandora stuff when the Imagineer for Coco segment mentioned Avatar coming in the future. I was like, why would you mention a different attraction or land in another IP segment? And I was like, that's strange, dude.
Well, yeah, and the corporate word game semantics, Avatar coming in the future.
Yeah.
That seems very like, it's happening, but like.
See, and this is where we get into, and I've said this over and over again, and I will continue to say it over and over again. I don't like, and this is not just Disney, it's any company. It can be a video game company, movie company, whatever. Stop announcing projects so early. I don't want to hear a thing, OG, about your project until you are really ready to show stuff, and it's like, okay, right now for Coco, we should have stuff being shown to us about that.
No, exactly. I wasn't even looking for anything crazy on Avatar. No. Just give us another maybe 2 pieces of art. Or maybe a description of like kind of what we can expect for the boat ride, right?
Or technology.
Or technology, exactly. For Coco and Avengers, we should have got a whole lot more. I mean, for Avengers, Infinity Defense, we got some great set pieces. A lot of fans are worried this is going to be another Transformers. It doesn't look like that's the case. No. There are some pretty massive set pieces that were very impressive.
Which it looks really cool, by the way. However, okay, going back to the negative side here. Why is Avengers opening in 2028 and Monstropolis is opening in 2027?
I think it comes down to Universal. I think that Disney, they can say all they want, but I think they got spooked with Epic Universe.
Yeah.
And Epic Universe, there's people out there that were saying like, it's going to kill Disney. It was never going to kill Disney. But I do think it's done some... I do think that it's gained Universal some market share that does make Disney feel uneasy about that market out there in Florida.
Right.
And I think that's why you're seeing such a big push in Florida. A lot of people get up here on social media and YouTube, they build everything so much faster in Florida. Not really. Historically, they really didn't.
That's true.
Look at Tron. They only care now, you guys, because of Epic Universe. This is a new thing that this whole Florida push, because... Believe me, there really wasn't that much of a push for the Florida stuff years ago.
No.
I mean that's why they're the meme on X.
Yeah.
Be fair to Florida. It's a meme because the Florida fans felt for years that there was no sense of urgency with anything. Now they have the sense of urgency because now Universal is catching up.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why, though, competition is good.
Yes.
Because someone like Disney, who all of us, especially us hardcore nerds, hold them to a certain standard, which that they set themselves to, by the way. Because I've always said, OG, like that, yes, compete with your competitor, but you should also compete with yourself.
Absolutely.
You should always want to try to outdo yourself. And lately, in the past, would you say, like 5-10 years, that probably that hasn't seemed so the case, right? It's like kind of good's good enough, and we'll kind of call it a day.
Yeah.
And so I think really with the competition from Universal, this has really made them step up their game. Now, here's the question to you. Has it made them step up their game too much where they have so many projects they can't get a handle on everything, like with this Tomorrowland thing going on? Because we're going to do Tomorrowland now, put Avatar on the side, and we're playing like the shuffle game of trying to figure out which things to prioritize.
Yeah, I don't know what it is for us here in California with all this. Now, we do know Thomas Maslam.
Yes.
Is very much a guy who's focused on, and we've talked about it on the channel many times, focused on capacity, efficiency, using unused spaces. So I can see a guy like Thomas looking at a Tomorrowland and going, okay, this is an area that needs a lot of work. Yeah. There's a lot of empty buildings, a lot of rotting, stuff going on, like the people mover track. It has to be addressed. But so does DCA. I mean, Disneyland, even with a crappy Tomorrowland,
still does well.
Bro, yeah, it's still like an A+ park.
Yeah.
DCA is not. DCA needs Pandora way more. Yeah, and I know fans won't want to hear this, but it's the truth. DCA needs a Pandora way more than Disneyland needs a new Tomorrowland.
Yes, and here's the thing. Even if you say, well, I don't want a Pandora, that's fine. Even if we don't get a Pandora,
something on that level.
We need something on that scale, that ambition in DCA.
Yes.
So I really think that we need to do that first, in my opinion. But you know what? It sounds like they're going to go with Tomorrowland first, which is interesting because that's going to push Avatar so far back.
So far.
Because look, if the Avengers construction, right, is still going on. If that's not opening up till 2028, and Coco, which we barely got anything new of,
nothing.
That's in the ground moving dirt or whatever they're doing right now, construction phase still. When is that going to open up, right? Because I know we had COVID for the Avengers,
right?
But this is like almost a 10-year timeline for these rides. So when is Coco going to open up? And then when is a new Tomorrowland going to open up, followed by Pandora? Are we talking like 2045, 2050 for Pandora?
Right. I don't understand it.
I don't get it. It's to me, I'm very perplexed about this.
Well, and I've always said it before, DCA is the thing that's going to book the hotel room. And what I mean by that, people are probably thinking I'm crazy, but
you're crazy.
but hear me out. right? When people fly, say from like Japan, right? Or they're coming here to California, they want to go to Disneyland, right? Mm-hmm. These people fly from across the country, or they fly across the world to come to Disneyland. There's no way they're gonna go to DCA and not go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Right? So Disneyland's an automatic. If someone's gonna take the time and money to come to the Disneyland resort, Disneyland is automatic money. Mm-hmm. DCA is not, though. DCA is something that people see as like an added extra. It's expendable. So the hotel room booking is gonna be more based on how much they really want to go to DCA.
I mean, like, even the logos treat it as just DCA.
Expendable, right? Mm-hmm. And Disney, we're seeing largely, is treating it the same way. Avatar, we can push that back. They don't treat it like a priority. Because DCA is not a priority to them. It's clear. They see it as something that's like, whatever. And you know what? If Disney wants Disneyland Resort to be more of a resort, start treating your resort like a resort.
Exactly.
They don't. They treat DCA like Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, and I'm very confused too why...
And Knott's always catching strays, huh?
Always. Well, I mean, they're just down the street.
They're down the street, yeah.
So I just don't understand why, too, with our projects here in California. Now, obviously, I'm California biased because I'm here West Coast. But I'm happy for our floater friends who are getting all this stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome stuff. But even for them, like, even some of their stuff, they didn't get a lot of things mentioned. Yes, they got Metropolis that, was a cool coaster. They got a show. They got that cool restaurant, right? That was good. Plus, they got a time frame announcement, right?
Right.
Awesome. Villains Land, the logo, I thought was pretty dope. Like, the way it looked. The 2 rides and then the weird Cruella thing, which was, like... weird, because it sounded like she was saying she's getting her own ride, but then Scott Gustin was like,
"It's a lair.
It's a lair." So
that was this weird, again, with the weird word games. Maybe Glenn Close wasn't really aware of what it was, and she misspoke.
Maybe, yeah.
But somebody needs to get on the same page because Cruella got on that stage.
Yes,
Glenn Close, Cruella got on that stage. She said that she's jealous of Maleficent getting her own ride, and it's time she gets her own ride. It was very clear she was getting a ride.
Yeah, and then even then too, like, they don't tell us any, because I was expecting, like, hey, what are we getting? What kind of merchandise locations are we getting? What kind of food and beverage? Like, are we getting like any sit down restaurants that are themed to like a villain thing? Right? Any lounges?
Right.
Nothing. For the Yeti, right? When they talked about fixing the Yeti. What's the time frame on that? Are you going to close down all of the whole ride to do that? Like, what's going to happen? Are you going to close it after all the Tropical America stuff? And Kanto, they told us some story bits and showed us a ride vehicle, so that's cool. But nothing again with technology, no special effects.
Right.
I don't. There was just for both coasts. There was a lot of information missing.
Well, it almost felt like they were blue skying some of these announcements without trying to. They were trying to package it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't blue sky, but it is.
Yeah.
Like the whole like Spaceship Earth thing.
Oh.
Like there was zero information on that. It was like we're gonna update Spaceship Earth, and instead of having it be about communication, it'll be about connections. Next. But I'm like, what? Okay, that felt like a fan servicey or like just an announcement for the sake of an announcement, but it felt like what they did with the Blue Sky stuff.
Yes, and then West Coast, we got like nothing. We got okay, Avengers, cool. We saw the e-ticket, like some of the set pieces.
Right,
that was dope. But how come we got like no footage of the vehicle moving around, like being tested or any?
Is it 3D? Is it not 3D?
Right, yeah, because before we were hearing it was 3D. They said nothing about if it was 3D or not. so we don't even know that. We didn't see really any audio animatronics. Dude, I would have loved to see like a King Thanos animatronic.
Bro.
That would have been dope.
That would have been sick.
But-
I mean, they should have showcased, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
We just wanted more details, and I don't think it's too much to ask for 2 or 3 attractions that are currently being built. Avengers has been vertical for like a year.
Yeah.
I mean, Coco is the foundation work is being going on right now. There is no reason why we couldn't have gotten more information on Avengers and Coco. There's zero excuse for that.
Well, and I'll also bring Avatar because we have a freaking model of it, and we've been hearing around, right, from some sources or places that they're actively working on it, like behind the scenes. So what's happening? No models, no figures,
right?
You know,
and this is the problem, right? Because and it's not just Pandora. There's been a history, especially in Florida. The Florida fans. I mean, you guys got pullback on Epcot with all the plan for Epcot. You got the Main Street Theater, which was completely canceled. The Mary Poppins ride, which was canceled.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
The Play Pavilion, that was canceled. I mean, there's been thing after thing after thing for the last few years, and I'm telling you, Lucasfilm has a reputation. When they announce something, the fans kind of roll their eyes and go, "Oh, but for real though, is this actually going to happen?"
Right.
The experiences division does not want to get into that mode with the fans. Once you break that trust with the fans, it's very difficult to get that back.
Yeah.
And they're really skirting the line right now because they're playing games.
Well, and you know what's weird too is let's talk about Tokyo for a second.
Okay.
Because usually with the experiences stuff, usually like the Asian parks get like the really cool stuff and high tech things, right?
Right.
Especially Japan.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Japan's like an advanced civilization. We're not on their level.
Oh yeah, no. So they go and talk about, you know, the new Tomorrowland, the whole redone Tomorrowland.
Right.
So what they said is that they are completely redoing their Tomorrowland. All of it, right?
And it looks dope.
It looks sick, especially the Space Mountain, dude.
Oh, man.
Now they're getting that Sugar Rush attraction that's from Wreck-It Ralph,
Correct.
and that audio animatronic actually looks pretty cool.
It does.
However, the Space Mountain, it sounds cool, but they only showed us like a little graphic launch thing.
Yeah.
There was no like I think there was a concept art that was shown online by Disney or at the convention center or something I saw on Twitter or X, but they didn't really show us much of that either. And that building is like kind of almost done.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just very like there was no ride vehicle pictures.
Yeah,
You know,
I remember seeing it.
I want to see like what the ride vehicle is, like what the soundtrack is going to be. There was nothing. Again, there is information without giving information.
It was a lot. Yes, you're right. It was a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And then they would have like the songs in between.
Yeah.
But it was like talking, but they were talking in a way where they were kind of not saying anything. It was like a lot of words, but no details.
Yes.
And then they would just be like, "Okay, cool. Now we're gonna do a song."
Right.
Like I mean, when you look back at a lot of these announcements, if you go back and watch it, there really isn't a whole lot of information being said about any of this stuff.
No, there isn't. And speaking of like the dances and all the corny jokes, I'm sorry, I did not really care about any of that stuff.
Well, it's tough to kind of have all that when you're like we're diehard park fans.
Yeah.
And we're there for the announcements. And when you're on the edge of your seat waiting for announcements, and they like, you know, they tease you with these like song and dance. Now I gotta sit through a 5-minute song. It's kind of like when you're just wanting the information, it kind of gets a little bit like.
Well, I think a big part of it too is when the first couple of announcements aren't really anything like to go crazy over, and the further you go and you're not getting the stuff you expect to hear, and you're still getting these song and dance slapney jokes, right? You're like, okay, well, where's the actual meaty stuff at?
Yeah,
and so
most of it was filler.
Yeah, so then there's no payoff, and so now you have to sit through another comedy skit or through another musical thing, and you're thinking, okay, maybe the next announcement might have something, and it doesn't have anything.
Right.
So it's just very kind of waste of time.
Well, yeah, they kind of string you along.
Yeah.
You know, and this whole Pandora thing is frustrating too, because now it's going to fuel the rumor mill again. And I can't even blame the fans. I got really annoyed with the fans.
Same.
Right? I'm sorry, this whole thing about land, destination, experience. Come on, you guys, like stop. It's stupid. Okay, it's a land. What we have in the artwork and on the model, it's clearly a land with an e-ticket. I get so annoyed with that stuff. It's like enough already, right?
Yeah.
But this thing right here today, leaving that project out of this and having the model on the floor creates a lot of confusion. And this is Disney's fault now, not the fans, because Disney now is creating that uncertainty. And now the rumor mill now is worse today. After D23, we should be very certain as to what we're getting. We are more uncertain about Pandora today than we were yesterday.
Yes. And I was telling you actually after, I think, and now I could be wrong, but I predict we are going to get some more detailed information about a lot of the stuff, or a good portion of it, this coming week.
Like through Disney Park blog?
Yes.
Interesting. So you're thinking like maybe early, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, going into next week?
Yeah, I think so. Why? I don't know, because that stuff, if they do that, whatever could be... Whatever, if they announce, like, let's say a new dragon, right, for Fantastic, or let's say they announce more information on Pandora,
right?
You should have put that in the parks panel. Like, people are paying you money for you to tell us these awesome things,
right? Exactly.
You know, so it just like the way Disney does the announcements with some of the stuff is weird. Like, for example, when we got our redone Toontown. That wasn't a D23 thing. That was a whole Parks blog thing.
It was a Parks thing, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, you're redoing a whole land. Like, that should have been a D23.
Well, yeah, and then even tonight, some of the announcements, like fixing the Yeti, which is something the fans have wanted for years.
Which is good.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But fixing something that you have neglected for years, is that a Parks panel announcement?
No.
I mean, that should have been a blog post.
It should have been.
And we should have had more news on this other stuff, like Coco and Avatar, and even the Florida stuff. But to make a whole big thing about fixing something that you let, kind of get run down is like, okay, But I mean, the lack of information on so much stuff. I know people are really focusing on the lack of information on Pandora, but it's not just Pandora, you guys.
It's everything, really.
Yeah, I mean, everything, and Abu Dhabi wasn't even mentioned.
Dude, that's wild to me because remember before D23, I believe it was Disney, right? They sent out that picture that says all the experiences that would be in D23, or talked about at the Horizons panel,
right?
And they had all the pictured concept arts of everything that we know of so far. On the bottom right was Abu Dhabi. That park wasn't even mentioned. Well, it was mentioned once about being a new theme park that they were creating, like at the very beginning of the show.
Right.
But they did not talk about it at all.
At all
in the panel.
And that's the thing. I think going forward, I think my advice to Disney would be
stop D23.
Yeah, I mean maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but no, I would. And maybe I'm not the demographic for it. Maybe because there's a lot of like corny jokes and songs and stuff. And I'm not that kind of Disney person. I'm a Disney fan, but I don't really think I'm like a... I think there's a difference between being a Disney fan, a fan of the art and what they do, and then being like a full-blown Disney adult. Like, for example, like you, me, Jared and Hey Bricky, right? Jose. Yeah, we are fans of Disney, fans of the art, fans of the architecture, theme design, but we're not Disney adults, right? In my opinion. I know this is very subjective, but in my opinion, we're not Disney adults. We're not. It's just a different energy. It's like when you're a Disney adult, it's like your whole thing, and we're not like that.
Yeah.
Right. But we're just fans of this stuff. And maybe these panels are like for the Disney adult person who likes the song and dance thing and the corny jokes. Maybe that's their thing.
Yeah.
Where you and me and Hey Bricky and our circle is more about nerding out over the details, over the
technical stuff,
right?
The architectural designs, the way things are built, themed, how immersed you are, right? I think that because they call it the ultimate fan event, right? So I guess you could argue we're all ultimate fans, you know. But I think
you're the number one Disney.
Oh, dude, I'm the number one Disney fan. Absolutely.
He is the number one Disney fan of all time. Come on, no one touches you, bro.
No one did.
You're number one.
But I think we're ultimate fans in different ways.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know, so yeah, okay, on like a scale of 1 to 10, dude, I give this panel a 5. And the only reason why I give it a 5 is because I do think the Florida stuff was better.
Yeah.
They got the better stuff, even though, again, even like ours, they still had it kind of nothingness to it. However, the two things I did like from Florida was Indiana Jones. We got some good stuff from there, I think.
Right.
The title is awesome. It's not like Temple of something. It was like the myth of
the fate of the Jade Serpent or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it was like yeah, dude. That was
sick. That name was sick, and the way that it was designed
was sick too.
Yes,
and then the serpent that they're going to have in it is dope. The way that they tie in like the animal and the cultural aspect.
Oh, dude, that was flawless.
Awesome, dude. I
Harrison Ford. That.
Yes, Harrison Ford having his actual likeness design be for the first time put in an Indiana Jones ride.
Dude,
sick.
It was great. Now here's the thing, right? Before we wrap up. They made it very clear. Maslow made it very clear at this experiences panel. Mm-hmm. We're listening, right? This is where the West Coast needs to step up because California can't even get a popcorn bucket without the Floridians on X talking about be fair to Florida.
Yeah.
I don't see that kind of energy coming from the West Coast. Now, I'm not saying look, Florida, do your thing.
Yeah.
Fight for your resort. All good. But California, we need to fight for our stuff too. I mean, we're over here like, you know, just letting things slide, bro.
Yeah.
And when Disney's listening and they admit that they're listening, why do you think that this whole expo today was all Florida? Why? Because Floridians are out there every day talking about how they don't get enough. But our West Coast doesn't do that enough. We don't speak up enough and say, you know what? No. Be fair to California. We want more. We want better.
And also from them, you're hearing about a bunch of Universal. Hey, you know, I'm going to Universal for a vacation, or Epic Universe is better, or whatever the case is, right? So again, you have that competition factor.
Yeah, the competition factor, exactly. And I'll tell you what, I'll be real with you. Like I've been the past like year and a half, I've been going to Universal Studios Hollywood a lot more than I have Disneyland.
What a traitor!
I'm a traitor. I'm a downright traitor. I am Universal Guy 64 now.
Universal Guy 64.
I am UG 64. But like, you know, and it's like, I mean Disney, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like it's weird with these DCA projects. I feel like they're not in it.
Yeah.
You can tell the energy, you can just feel it. They're not on board.
You know what this will give a big clue to about that? Which I believe, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what some good evidence this would be for that, for sure, in the coming future, is how we see them treat this Tomorrowland thing.
Well, and I'm telling you right now, and we'll get into it with a lot of other videos.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Be very weary of this Tomorrowland thing. I don't know. It feels very fishy. It feels very, I don't know, like very like they're playing games. Like they know they have to. Maybe there's some reason why they got to pull back on Avatar, but they know that we only have 3 projects. So they know they got to do something to like offset that.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're sort of pushing the new Tomorrowland thing out there because they know it's an easy win. Mm-hmm. And it's like something that'll like kind of shut us up.
Yeah. But
I'm not even sure that's even going to really happen. And when is it going to happen? Because if you think about it, I mean, they said we're approaching the 50th. They didn't say this new Tomorrowland's opening for the 70th. I mean, they said that we're approaching the 75th.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to Disneyland's future. Mm-hmm. But they didn't say it was opening for the 75th.
No, they didn't give a time frame. Now here's
vague.
It was vague. Now here's the thing. What does this say about the electricness, the electric vehicles for Autopia? Are we still getting that, or is that just a temporary, not what was the word I'm trying to find, like, because when you think
is that a band-aid, or
is it like a temporary solution until they demo it and put something else there? Like what's going to happen to the subs? Because if we're going to get into Tomorrowland, guess what? You got to figure out something with Star Tours. You have the people mover track that goes through the whole land.
Right.
You have the monorail station over there, and it does a spaghetti theme by Matterhorn.
Well, you're right. See, again, this opens up We should have more concrete plans of the resort's future after an experiences panel, and I feel like we have less, because now we don't even know if Pandora is going to happen. Let's be real, we don't know, because now it's being delayed or the can's being kicked down the road.
Yeah.
And this whole Tomorrowland thing, you bring up a great point with the electric vehicle. Like, is that going to still happen? Because maybe they'll just close. If we're just going to start Tomorrowland now, are they going to just close Autopia instead?
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. We didn't see anything on the new electric vehicles.
No, we didn't.
And we're supposedly getting those
Like next year.
Right, early next year.
Yeah.
Nothing on that. So is that even going to happen? Are we getting that? Is Autopia going to stay?
Or is it just going to close and not reopen until they redo the whole land?
Until they do the whole land. So again, we have more questions now than we did yesterday, which we shouldn't have. We shouldn't be in this position, Webba. We should have more information.
The uncertainty of the West Coast.
I'm telling you, West Coast. I told you, and I did a solo bar chat on this. I did a solo bar chat on this. I think the video was called like West Coast worries or West Coast concerns, and I just spoke, to the West Coast, and I said my worry with this expo is going to be the Walt Disney World show,
and it was,
and sure enough, it was.
Yeah. Now it's funny too because even the international parks didn't get that much either.
No, I mean Tokyo got Space Mountain and Wreck-It Ralph, which has been.
We've known about that for a while.
Right. There was really no information on any of that. Except we saw the Wreck-It Ralph animatronic, which was dope.
And Paris, we had the Lion King, which I thought looks really cool.
That was great. And then Shanghai, it was just
the
reiterating the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
The coaster.
Same for Hong Kong. It was just the tower. And, well, I guess it's a new expanded area or land, right?
Right.
But they said stuff without saying stuff, which was kind of weird. It was like it's called this and that. It's these stories and the characters. But I'm like, okay, well, what do you do?
Well, and speaking of characters, I'm glad you brought that up. Another thing with the Avengers Campus, a lot of weird character decisions in that land. I was like, the Kuka arm thing?
Brie Larson?
With Brie Larson? Captain Marvel, it's weird. It's like you have so many I said the same thing about Villains Land when there was all those rumors about Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
You have all these legendary villains to choose from, and you choose Yzma. It's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that she's a bad character.
Yeah.
But out of everybody on the thing, right, that's the one you choose. And thankfully they didn't, right?
Right. Oh,
but it's the same thing with Avengers Campus. It's like you have all these amazing superheroes, like, and you pick Captain Marvel.
Well, OG, she flies.
Yeah, she flies. Yeah, I'm like, and you pick Captain Marvel. And I know people are going to get on me because it's like, I know Captain Marvel and Brie Larson is a hot topic. It has nothing to do with politics, anything like that. I'm just saying from like a superhero standpoint, when you have like Hulk and, you have these big, like that's the one you choose in your Kuka arm ride?
Well, they didn't mention she was one of the 3 or 4 characters that would be...
Yeah, I think it was like her,
Tony Stark, and then was it
Andrew Mackie, Captain America?
You mean I think Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I believe those 3. I can't remember. I'd have to rewatch the thing. But it was like at least 3 of them that would be talking to you, and then you have Kamala Khan in Infinity Defense giving you like a spiel, kind of like what Rey does in Galaxy's Edge for Rise, when like she's like recruiting you as recruits for this Infinity Defense King Thanos thing. So I'm not against it, but I'm just confused as why. Because if we're still using Thanos as a main villain, even though there's like more multiverse kind of aspect, I would assume you'd want to use a phase 1 through or the Infinity Saga characters,
right?
Than the newer Disney Plus characters.
Yes, a lot of weird decisions with that. Again, the positive, I think, probably for the West Coast, because the Tomorrowland thing, I'm suspect of that. Okay, so I'm not even that. To me, Tomorrowland, I gotta be real with you guys. Tomorrowland felt like Blue Sky. That's what that feel. That felt like to me Beyond Big Thunder. That is our version of Beyond Big Thunder. That's what that feels like. Now, maybe eventually we will get it. We probably will eventually, but it just felt very vague. it felt like it was thrown out there to like sort of get the cheap applause. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was say by the time we get Tomorrowland and Avatar, we're all going to be like 80 years old.
Bro, it's going to be crazy. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So we'll see. But we just want to do a little video kind of giving our thoughts out of the Honda Center reaction. Obviously, we're going to do a lot of videos breaking this stuff down, like the nitty gritty. And look, I know it sounds, this video sounds very negative, but it is fun going to these events and nerding out and doing this stuff. We're not disappointed at necessarily the experience of it all. We're disappointed in like Disney's handling of these announcements.
And it's also confusing too, because again, you have this big event that people pay for to go, right? Whether you're up on the top or at the very front, and then you have all these projects happening, but then you don't really give any information on the projects. But I for some reason I have a feeling they're going to give us more detail in blog posts. I just have a feeling that's going to happen.
I hope so.
But if it does, that shouldn't be like that though. It should be in the Honda Center.
Right, exactly.
You know, so yeah, I mean,
well, you know what? I mean, it's frustrating because you're right. If they do that, that is frustrating because we had to sit through
corny jokes and music things.
Well, Disney Junior, the new cartoon for kiddos. I mean, it looks adorable. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it'll be a huge hit with the kiddos. But why are we getting that at the Experiences panel? When we are missing all this big information for Coco and Avatar and all that.
Oh, and don't forget, we are also getting in 2028, which they said it was coming soon. Imagineering Story 2.
Yes, and that was cool news. But yeah, coming soon. But that's like 2 years.
Yeah, that's not soon.
No, that's a long time, dude.
It's probably soon in like theme park executive terms.
Yeah, we'll see. You know,
but not to me.
No, exactly. So I want everyone's opinion down below. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I know our Floridians are probably very, very happy.
Of course.
Yeah, they're happy, and they should be. I think overall this was a very solid expo for them. But I'm sorry. I mean, I'm very honest. So is Webba. When we see stuff we don't like, we're gonna say it. This was not a strong showing for the West Coast, and we're leading up to Disneyland's 75th anniversary, and I feel like it's kind of a mess.
Yeah, and you know what too? At least for a positive thing, as I will say that the monsters, the Monstropolis, look really good.
It did.
I think a very cool concept. Awesome coaster. It's gonna be crazy. But even for them who did get more stuff than us, which is great for them. I still feel like there was lack of a lot of information on their end as well.
No, there was a lack of information all the way around, and I know there's going to be a lot of people, celebrating. Oh well, there was no Pandora. Yay, we didn't want it anyway. Now look, I'm nervous about getting this land, but let's be real. They left out a lot of stuff. I mean, like we said, Abu Dhabi, Eastern Gateway. There was a lot of stuff left out. It wasn't just Pandora.
Well, and here's the guys, people who are watching. It's not just us. When we were there, I mean, whenever like the Imagineers or whoever was on stage would say something, oh yeah, we're getting this or this is coming, and there wasn't like a lot of applause or cheering.
No, I saw people around us getting up a lot.
Yeah, and there was the biggest applause and cheer I heard for was the last three parts of the show. It was the villain stuff, it was the announcement of Tomorrowland, right? And then it was the Figment thing at the very end. That was it. Like everything else was very like, oh,
yeah, it's tepid. Well, and here's the thing too with Figment. And I know my Floridians are probably going to get mad at me, but let's be real. Like, okay, diehard fans love Figment.
Yeah,
they love Figment. I'm not so sure though that Figment is something that the general public cares about. I just don't know. I feel like the normies. This is a question we should have asked. We should have asked Lexi.
Oh,
in the bar chat when we filmed with Alan and Lexi, because she's a normie. But will she even know what that is? Probably not. Like, I don't know. It's weird to me that like they're even doing a Figment thing, because I don't feel like, I mean, and maybe look, they have internal numbers. Maybe he's really hot with normies. I don't know. I just feel like he's sort of a relic of the 80s.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, someone who is into Disney as I am. Again, I'd never been to Walt Disney World. I didn't even know what Figment was until probably like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Or so, because I kept hearing about it. I'm like, what is this Figment thing?
Yeah.
I finally look it up. Like, oh, okay, it's a character, dragon character. Sorry if I'm misspeaking of what this character is.
Right.
You know, but I was like, okay, so there's like a cult following, okay, huge fan base of this Figment character from the Florida people.
Yeah, and I think that I think people always point to well, the Figment popcorn bucket did really well. Well, it's that's not really a barometer though, because you can have 600 diehard Disney fans waiting in line for that popcorn bucket, and it's going to look like massive demand for this character.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a false indicator. A line for a popcorn bucket isn't really a true barometer for the popularity of the character, in my opinion.
Right, because popcorn buckets just kind of sell anyway. I mean, because they're cool, right? I mean, popcorn buckets look more like collectible items, which they usually are,
right,
than actual practical popcorn use.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Make a Figment. Look, they had plans to make a Figment show. Remember on Disney Plus, or a Figment movie or a Figment show,
something.
I think Seth Rogen was connected to that project, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
something like that. Why didn't they make that? Why? Probably because there's no demand for him. Yes, the nerds are gonna line up for the popcorn bucket, but are the normies gonna watch the Figment movie? Are they gonna watch the Figment show? Come on, probably not.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. So we'll see, but we got a lot more content coming up. This D23. While it was a pretty lackluster showing for the West Coast, it did give us a lot to talk about.
Well, I think back to what I was saying. The reason why I give it a 5 is because of actually the Florida stuff. Like that's what bumps it up to a 5, which is average for you, 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Because
West Coast got Jack, and then at least it was saved by some East Coast stuff. DCL. I mean, we got a couple.
We learned that they're a new class of ship, the midsize,
and they're going to double the cruise line out for San Diego.
That's cool. That's some West Coast love.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, very light, very light. I was expecting more detail.
Yeah.
And maybe even trot out like one of the animatronics for Coco.
Or something.
We got this great new animatronic and check this new, it's the most fluid thing we ever made or whatever.
Yeah.
I was expecting things like that,
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Mr. Webba, where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Absolutely, OG. You can find me, Mr. Webba, at Webcast Citizen on Instagram, Threads, X, or Twitter, and on my YouTube channel. And you can also find me on Orange Grove 55.
There he is, everybody, coming down below. We love to hear from you. This is crazy. A very interesting experiences panel. Not so much what they announced, but what they're leaving out.
And that's the thing that's getting to me.
Yes, it's hard. And I feel like there's more questions now, and I feel like we have more stuff in limbo. Because here's the thing. I hate to get back into it, but I feel like we're being promised a new Tomorrowland. And I feel like that's not even a for sure. So we're losing Pandora, and we're not even really locked in with Tomorrow.
Well, let me ask you: are you now more, or are you now less confident in any? Well, not really Coco or Avengers, but are you now less confident in Pandora?
I am less confident in Pandora, yeah, because they left it out of the panel. Scott Gustin said they're prioritizing Tomorrowland. Yeah, I mean, I'll be real, I look, the Zootopia stuff for me was baloney.
No, me too.
The fans were ridiculous. That was just Jim Scholl, armchair Imagineering, and everyone ran with it. Let's be real. But this though, this is real tangible stuff.
Now let me ask you another question. And for you people at home too, does this make you worried about, especially for the West Coast, the direction or decisions that the company makes for their projects for the theme parks?
It does. This feels the Avatar Tomorrowland stuff, and even some of the Florida stuff, this really vague Spaceship Earth thing, and oh look, it feels very scrambly.
Yeah,
it feels very scrambly, and it also kind of worries me a little bit. And I go back to Lucasfilm. You can over listen to fans.
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker is a perfect example of over listening. I feel like they're listening to fans almost to a fault with this stuff, where they're like over reacting, like, oh, fans don't want that, cool, we'll deprioritize that one, we'll push this because that's what they want. Sometimes you got it, Disney, sometimes you have to. Josh Dumaro said he's a risk taker. Take the risk. Don't focus group everything. Take the risk.
And I've been saying that for a while now. I've said that, especially when it comes to like competition with Universal, they've been too reactionary.
Very reactionary.
To the competition and to the fans.
They've been so reactionary. It's been very, very reactionary. I'm telling you. Remember, everybody, we're going to close it out. Remember, the fans didn't want Mission Breakout. Now they love it. The fans didn't want Animal Kingdom to have Pandora. Now they love it. A lot of times, the fans are wrong. A lot of times the fans think something is going to stink because a lot of times fans are very closed-minded. Let's be real. And the thing opens and it turns out to be great. That's why Disney should not over-listen to fans, because sometimes the fans don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to close it right there. Until next time, see you later.
Thank you so much for watching OG55. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and become a member today. Mwah!